Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, Jay Briggs here. On a Thursday, man, I got my guy Chris with me, man. We got to cook up this NBA, man. We got some bombs that just dropped on us. Current state of the NBA, man. How you doing today, Chris?
Jay, I'm doing well. This is, like you said, I couldn't have said it better myself. It's the status of today's NBA is, it doesn't shock anyone anymore when, you see a star player get announced. It just sucks that they waited until 3:30 Eastern to definitely drop the bomb on us that there's no Kawhi in the game against the Suns tonight. So we'll have to see if the Clippers can rally the troops and rise to the occasion.
Yes, sir, man. One of the reasons that we started doing this, or that I started doing this late afternoon show, was for bombs like this. To update on late injury news and information that came out of the association throughout the day, man. So this one was out of left field. I didn't see it happening. I am currently holding a Clippers ticket. I will be honest with you. I'm currently holding that Clippers ticket. I'm holding a Clippers money line ticket, to be honest. I thought with Kawhi in there, they were going to win the game straight up. We'll talk about it in a minute. We'll talk about it. Playoffs. Before we head in, man, playoffs. I mean, starting game threes today. I would say all game twos were pretty good, man. All the series, I would say they're good series, man. I wouldn't say nobody has completely just ran away with anything yet. I'm pretty excited about this playoff round one. Have you seen anything that stood out to you so far, or how you feeling about the first two games?
Funny enough that you asked me that, I was actually going to bring this up, and there is something that has stood out to me in the playoffs, and that's that the points have not been a factor in these games.
I noticed that too.
So I noticed this trend. I had to look at the games left and right, but I verified this. This season, in all 16 games, the favorite has either covered or the underdog has won outright. I'm
going to do you one better. It goes back 43 games.
Yeah,
it's not just
I was going to say that. Yeah,
it goes back 43.
Yeah,
playoff games.
I think
it's not including the play-in games, but yes, just straight playoff games. Yes, that's crazy. I saw that this morning too, and
that goes back to what I think it's the Warriors Grizzlies series.
Yeah, I got scratching my head
last year. I think we're talking a ton of playoff games. So this is where money line bettors, I think, are salivating, because it's either you get the cover with the favorite, or you're getting some nice plus odds. I mean, I'm just looking at all the underdogs that have cashed to this point. I mean, look at game one. The Knicks beat the Cavs outright. The Lakers beat the Grizzlies outright. The Heat beat the Bucks outright by double digits.
Yep.
Clippers beat the Suns outright.
Yep.
Again, Kings beating the Warriors at home. So there's lots of value with the underdogs on the money line. But that being said, there's also been value taking the favorites, because a lot of the games where the favorites have been covering haven't been close. So
favorite just either when they wins, they cover.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, if a dog is going to cover, they're going to win it outright. That's what it's been the last 43. I saw that this morning too, and I was like, whoa, surprising. But hey, it's the NBA right now, man. I just wanted to see if there was anything that stood out to you, and that stood out to me too, Chris.
Yeah, that's definitely what stood out to me.
Well, we can head right in, man. We got the Sixers on the road in Brooklyn. Sixers have looked dominant both game one and game two. No surprise there, as they were dominant at home all season. I'm be honest, this morning on the jam session, I took the Nets money line. I think this series goes 5 games, I think the Nets steal one, and if they steal one, I think the best place for them to steal one would probably be today. Just being said, the reason I say that is I went back and looked. The Sixers have not swept anybody. They just haven't. Over the past 7 seasons, even when they're in prime position to do so, they just don't. They've been up 3-0 a couple times, lost game 4 and game 5. They've had a lot of 4-1 series, never a complete sweep. I would not be surprised if the Nets steal one. And if they do steal one, I think it might be today. Do the Sixers keep rolling? They're red hot, though. How you feeling on this one?
You know, I was looking at this one, and I got burned on the over in game 2 as it finished 96-84. I'm going to go back to the well with the over here. I don't see the offensive struggles. I know that, you know, the Nets want to probably try to slow this down and not let the 76ers get out and run, but even if they played in a half-court game, I mean, this is a matchup where, you know, the Sixers have dominated the offensive glass all season. They're averaging around 13 offensive boards per game against the Nets, so there's plenty of second-chance opportunities for the Sixers in these games. And I think this is just going to be a higher-scoring game than 209.5. This total has dropped. I think it was 5 points from game 2. And I'm just not – again, I'm not seeing it. Maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I'm just thinking that, you know, it's today's NBA. And while it's playoff basketball, the points are still going to come out in bunches. But I you know, a 107 to 105 game gets you over the total. And that's kind of sort of where I'm at. Like, if these teams are going to have a really good game, and even if you see a blowout here, even a 110 to 105 kind of game, something like that, gets you over this total. So I think this total is just too far gone for me. So I'm rolling with the over here.
Now, Chris, I don't look at a whole lot of totals in the NBA. I just don't.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be honest. I like this over with you. I do. And I think this total is mainly just a complete overreaction to game 2. It was a very low-scoring game, 96-84. And what I've noticed in the playoffs is everybody completely likes to overreact game to game. NBA more so than any sport is a game of runs, man. And I think if Brooklyn, let's go along with my theory that Brooklyn needs to throw the kitchen sink at Philly today. I think they got to score some points to win this game. Only scored 84 game 1, 101 game 2. The defensive strategy isn't working, man. So they got to put this ball in the basket. I can see this being picking up the pace a little bit. Philly has slowed the game down on them both game 1 and game 2. I think if the Nets get out running today, we could get over this total, and this game could just be a different type pace than game 1 and game 2 were. And I like that over. I do. I think it's a complete overreaction to that under we see in game 2. I'm with you. 105, like you said, at 105, 110 gets us over that. And I could see that today in Brooklyn.
I think my only concern with the Nets is just that I don't want to hang my hat on having to rely on the Nets to do a lot of heavy lifting to get over this total. I mean, 5 of the 6 games this season, everyone points out the fact the Sixers 6-0 against the Nets this season. But look at what the Nets have done. In 5 of those 6 games, they've scored 106 or less, which in today's NBA,
it's
with
crazy.
the evolution of the 3 and just how fast-paced these teams can be and how it's an offense-driven league, that's peanuts compared to what the average quote unquote is in today's NBA. So even for playoff basketball, I still think that the points have got to come at least a little bit more frequently here. So yeah, like I said, like you mentioned, I think it's just an overreaction. I think it's too far gone. I think it's an over here.
I want to see the Nets put some scoring in the game. Like my guy Cam Thomas was a DNP last game. Cam Thomas got a couple 40 points by himself this season. Oh my God, Cam Thomas get some run, man. He's a bucket getter. They got a lot of defensive guys in the lineup right now. Mikal Bridges, I like him, but this is his first year being just a scorer. He was a defensive guy over there in Brooklyn. It was Chris Paul, Devin Booker's show, not the Mikal Bridges show. I like Mikal. I think his game can evolve, and he's going to be a go-to guy in this league. But I think they need some more scoring, man. Coach Vaughn got to shake it up. Relying on just Dinwiddie and Bridges and Johnson to scores, and probably not going to get it done, man. Play some Cam Thomas today. Get some points on the board. And I think we get over this total, and the Nets probably keep this one competitive.
Yeah,
Next one.
I was going to say, I can't believe. I think I saw, just to go back to Cam Thomas, I think he's got the lowest average per game scoring for a guy that had 4 40-plus games in the season.
Coaches don't play him. He doesn't play him. Yeah, it's He's a defensive liability, but he's also a bucket, and
the rest of the Nets are defensive liability too. So
exactly. All right, man. Next game up. Game everybody got their eyes on. This is my favorite first round series. The Kings and the Warriors, man. The defending champs now got their back up against the wall. This line has kind of crept up throughout the day, man. It's now Golden State land 6.5. Kings won both in Sacramento, man. They're up 2-0. Do you think the champs got any chance of response tonight at home?
I think they do. This is where they played their best basketball. And I think this is where, I think I said this in the first two games of the series. I was admittedly on the Warriors in the first two games of the series because I thought they'd at least win one. But if playoff experience is going to count for anything and veteran experience is going to count for anything, you would have to think it's got to be here. With them down 0-2 at home where they've played their best basketball all season. We've talked about how this Warriors team has been a Jekyll and Hyde team on the road all year long and not compared to at home. If they don't step up to the occasion at home in this spot, stick a fork in them. I'm sorry. I know they're the Warriors. I know they have one of the best, talent laden teams in the NBA. Guys like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, the footprint, but that's what I'm going to start calling Draymond now. It's the footprint. If you can't get up for this game, with what the Warriors have at stake and your legacy as I'm killing you with the footprint.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah, you got me.
If you can't get up for this spot, if you're the Warriors, like as a veteran team. Fuck! I'm so happy I broke Jay. I shouldn't even swear that, but then what are you doing? I mean, this is where you have to come to the table, and if you can't do it, then the Kings caught the Warriors with their pants down, and that could happen. But from a side perspective, I look at the Warriors. I think my better play here is the under, though. Again, we're looking at another overreaction on the total. Just looking at two teams that, you look at the Kings, you think, well, the pace for them slows down on the road, speeds up for them on the road. There's not a ton of defense being played. But look at the last meeting. What was it? I'm trying to remember it was like a 116 to 108 or something like that. I could see a similar number here.
106.
Yeah, there you go. So even a game that gets into the low 230s, like a 119 to 111 kind of game, still brings you under the total by almost double digits. So it is a scary bet to bet the under in a Kings Warriors game. But to me, it's the one that makes the most sense just from where this number is laying.
An inflated total, 240, and it is pretty high. Think about it. We got what's the total in that in the Nets game again?
209.
Sheesh. 40-point difference in two different games. That's crazy. All right. So this is how I feel in this one. I'm with you, Chris, man. I think we go down swinging with the Warriors in this one, man. I do. I think with their back against the wall, they got to respond. I was on Sacramento both game 1 and game 2. And I'm on record saying Sacramento's going to win this series, as I just can't trust the Warriors to win a road game. But I do think I've said this series is going 7, and I think the Warriors do win all 3 on their home floor. And I'm sticking to that, man. And I think they probably win this one tonight pretty comfortably, if I'm going to be honest. I can see this as a 10-point win for the Warriors in a bounce-back Warriors-type spot. If there's one thing you can count on, is that you can fade the Warriors on the road, but at home, you can bet on them, man. And at home, they were the best home cover team in the NBA at 27-13-1, covered in 67.5% of their games. I did tell y'all this morning on the gym session that stat is kind of a wash, though, as the Kings were the best road cover team in the league at 27-14. But with the champs down the way they are, man, with the magnets that they got in the rim and Chase Center, I think the Warriors probably look good tonight. If you didn't know, Chris, the Warriors got magnets in the rim. That's why that they just shoot so well. They just don't miss when they play in Oakland. I don't know what it is, and then I had to do some deep diving. Found out they got magnets in the rim. That's why they got all them chips.
That's what we'll blame it on.
Yep. So I think they're gonna flip the switch, have them activated tonight, and those Warriors type shots gonna be falling. Defense, they're probably gonna play to the crowd. The Warriors, they're one of the more crowd friendly teams, meaning the antics, the crowd really does pump them up. No, they are without Draymond Green tonight. And I do think, that'll kind of hurt a little bit, but I kind of like the way Looney has been playing this series on Sabonis. Sabonis, it really hasn't been Sabonis. I thought Sabonis was the key factor to this series. It really hasn't been him. The key factor to this series has been Malik Monk. They can't stop him at the rim. I just think that the outside shots that the Warriors are probably going to be hitting in their building tonight is probably going to steal the heart of the Kings. In this one, Kings are probably going to feel pretty comfortable up 2-1, ready to go at it again, game 4 in Golden State, and we'll see what happens. But tonight, with the champs back up against the wall, they're going to respond, man. They probably win this one really comfortably. I'm laying it with the champs.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Sabonis have got no heart because Draymond Green probably flattened with his foot. But interesting. I mean, this is where I kind of got that under. I know. I'm responding to a lot of the comments that say
you're good.
That see, a lot that it's a scary proposition to look at the under, but statistically this season, the Warriors 29-13-1 to the over because they really weren't playing any defense. That's including any playing games. But at home, 23-17-1 to the under. But believe it or not, as much as I talk about the Kings not necessarily playing a ton of defense on the road, they're at home is where they're stronger to the over. 26-15-2 to the over at home, but 26-15 to the under on the road. So I think, like I said, if you don't feel comfortable playing the total, this could be a game, and I was talking to Jay about this before we went on the air. This could be the game where I think you could find some definite value with player props.
Yep. Who are you looking at?
For me personally, and I dropped this in as a same game parlay, and this is sort of like my lottery ticket of the night. I went with Steph Curry to score 35 plus. I think this is where you have to get the best. This is where you have to get playoff Curry. The last 2 home games against the Kings, he got 47 points and 33. So I think this is where Steph Curry shows up. I got Andrew Wiggins to score 25 plus. I'm kind of checked out with Klay Thompson. I like Klay Thompson. It wouldn't surprise me if he went off. But I like what I've seen from Andrew Wiggins that's coming back into the lineup. So I think Andrew Wiggins could be good for at least 20, 25 points tonight. I went with 25 for the extra plus money. And I'm with you. I like Malik Monk's, what do we call it? His rise sort of in like the playoffs so far.
Yeah.
I went with Monk to score 20 points and have 6 rebounds. And that's around, nobody laugh at me. This is around plus 18,000. So for the same game parlay, I think it's worth a shot because, like I said, Malik Monk, like you said, has been the story. It's easy to go with De'Aaron Fox, and I wouldn't blame anyone for going with De'Aaron Fox because he's been a stud. But I think Malik Monk has definitely shown something, and I think he could have another big game. If the Kings want to win this game, they need everybody to step up because the Warriors are not going to make it easy for them. So that's sort of what I went with here.
I'm not mad at none of those, Chris. Wiggins, he has to step up. He does have to step up. But I think if he steps up, it's more on the defensive end. You know who I got an APB out for? I got an APB out for the man that just got paid over the offseason that he ain't shown up at all. And if I think I'm going to bet some player props, I'm going to bet him points over. We're in Golden State tonight. He should go off. I can't see anything right now, but I'm looking for Jordan Poole to at least score like 20 points tonight. He got to show up. Where has Jordan Poole been? I remember last playoffs, I was sitting there amazed, like, God damn, Jordan Poole, you out here hooping. We got an APB out for him, man. He is missing in action. I don't know. Chris, can you see if you see any Jordan Poole props?
Funny enough, I saw him on the milk carton at the convenience store before I got on the show. So, yeah, I think he is missing. I'm not saying that big time players show up and that Jordan Poole is not a big time player, but I don't know if I classify him in that level yet. He's a good player that's had some big games.
Yeah.
But he's not a big time player yet. I think this has just been a spot where unfortunately there's only so much room in the spotlight. Curry obviously going to get that spotlight. Draymond Green kicked the door down with his foot and decided to, step into the spotlight, use Domantas Sabonis to get over it. And guys like De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk has shown himself in. But that's why I said I think Andrew Wiggins has sort of thrust himself into the spotlight and feels like Jordan Poole is kind of the odd one out.
I don't even see none of his props popping up, man. But if I play a prop tonight, I'm playing Poole. These are the games where he shows up, man. There's gonna be a cute girl sitting on the sideline. He's gonna do a little between the legs deep three. Then he's gonna get the rolling. I think we see a Curry Poole show tonight, man. That's what I'm going with.
First of all, the cute girl on the sideline big game move is Austin Reeves. That's Austin Reeves' move, okay? That's not Jordan Poole.
That's the Poole move, man.
That's Austin Reeves. Okay, that's AR-15. That's not
for sure, man. For sure. Last one up, man. We talked about it on the top of the show. I've been kind of going back and forth on what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I'm already sitting on that Clippers money line ticket. I put it in this morning. I'm probably just gonna let it ride. But for an update right now, I would probably still grab the 7.5 with the Clips. I don't love it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't love it. But in that same breath, here it is, man. This is the Russell Westbrook game. If you can, bet the Russell Westbrook trip dub. He's probably on triple-double watch tonight with no Kawhi Leonard. He's going to have to do it all. We're probably going to get a vintage Russell Westbrook performance, an OKC-type performance from Russ tonight against KD, his arch nemesis. And I think he probably does enough to keep this one within the number. The Suns probably win it. Clips probably cover. And Russ triple-double is definitely on the table. How you feeling, Chris?
Yeah, I'm with you with the Russ triple double. I think that especially now that Kawhi's out, it's definitely on the table. I won't lie to you.
The Clips, I'm being too hopeful with my ticket already in the air.
No, I wouldn't say that. This is all I'm gonna say. I liked the Suns with Kawhi in the lineup. I'm still sticking to them without him in the lineup. That being said, how many times have we seen it? We don't have to limit it to just the NBA. It can go to, other sports as well. But how many times, I think it's just more prevalent in the NBA, how many times have we seen it where you've had guys announced out for quote unquote load management, or guys that have all of a sudden been sprung out, the line's moved 5 points in the other direction, and the team still rose to the occasion. They basically took the next man up mentality and rose up and not only maybe covered as the underdog, but ended up winning that game outright. So especially in a playoff game where these guys know the gravity of sort of the position that they're in, I think that there's definitely hope, especially with the trend that we talked about with the underdogs, that maybe the Clippers steal it. There's also the possibility that the Suns show up with no mercy and beat them by 25. It's the volatility of this injury. And this is the prime example of sort of, you talked about overreaction with those totals. Could this be an overreaction to the news that Kawhi Leonard's out? Maybe, but it's also, the Clippers' best player being out. That's what I'm just trying to remember. I want to say 69 points so far in this series that's being taken out of the lineup. I think he had 38 in game one. I think he had 31 in game two. So, I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. That's the way I look at it.
For sure. Going back to the stat, that does make me nervous trying to grab the points with the Clips. Does make me a little nervous. 43-0 in that stat is crazy. That's mind-boggling. I can't believe that. But it's true. I actually went back and looked game for game, and it's accurate. When they cover, they win. I mean, when they win, they cover, or they win outright. So I'm gonna let my tickets. I'm gonna let it ride, man. I mean, there's nothing else I can really do. So I'm gonna let that money line ticket ride. See what happens. Maybe Brody gets it done, but I do really like that Brody triple double. I'm still looking for it right now. I don't see it, man. The props are kind of all over the place at this current time. So this is what I'm gonna do on my props. When I find them, I will tweet them out to you guys. So if you follow me on Twitter, Parlay Guy J, I'm gonna tweet out probably 3 props that I'm betting tonight. So you can go over there and find out those 3. But yeah, man, it's playoff time, man, and I'm excited for tonight's 3 games. Game 3 action. I think. Let me ask you a question. You see any sweeps? You think the Nets sweep? I mean, you think the Sixers sweep the Nets, or do you think the Hawks sweep? Think the Kings sweep? Think any sweeps?
Let me just get the bracket up quick, just so that because I just don't want to forget any series and then look at them and be like, oh, okay, maybe that could still be a sweep.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I am looking at that Celtics Hawks series as a sweep.
Okay, I think I am too.
Unfortunately, I like the Hawks, and no disrespect to Trae Young or whatever, but they've just looked overmatched in that series, and I don't think it's going to change. Let's see the ones that are left.
To me, I think that's the only sweep. That's the only one I called sweep, man, was the Celtics Hawks. I think the Nets still won. We'll see. But I'm not mad if they think that's a sweep. I mean, it very well could be.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the Nuggets swept Minnesota either. I think game 3, and again, forgive me for sounding like Captain Obvious. Game 3 is going to go a big way to determine if that's a sweep. If the Wolves don't come out at home, where you take Denver away from home and where they've been at their best, and if the Timberwolves can't get up for that game, then you stick a fork in them. I don't see them pulling it out, but again, I'm taking a wait and see approach with that one. I did have Sixers sweep, even though they haven't done it in, like you said, like 7 years. I think that this group of the Nets kind of just rode the coattails of the success that the Nets had pre Durant and pre Irving trade. I think
they did.
I think that's the only reason why they're here.
And the Heat didn't do nothing to take it from them, because the Heat had plenty of opportunities to jump.
Oh yeah,
the Nets, and
trust me, I remember. That game against the Wizards.
Yep, they had plenty of chances to do it, and the Nets kind of backed in. But hey,
yeah, trust me, I remember that game against the Wizards very well. Had it as a premium, had the Heat -6, and then all of a sudden, Jimmy Butler's out, Tyler Hero's out, Bam's out. And I'm like, you deserve whatever was going to happen to you in the playoffs.
What you think about that Heat Bucks series? I think a lot of people were rubbing up on the Heat yesterday with Giannis, missing game 2, and then they still got hammered. Can the Heat go home and respond, or what you think?
I didn't have it as a premium. I almost did, to tell you the truth. I almost put in the Heat as a premium, but glad I didn't, because like you said, it's like we talked about that Clippers game. Another situation where the star was ruled out of the lineup. His status went back and forth all day. He went into the day doubtful. His status was shifted to questionable, and then went back doubtful and ruled out. And what happened? The Bucks came in and slapped the taste out of the Heat's mouth, kind of a la Will Smith and Chris Rock. So it was. It was,
and it happened yesterday with the Grizzlies too. It looked like John Morant was going to play for a little bit, got ruled out. They still hooped without their star. So we've kind of seen that a lot this season. I'm right there with you. We have seen that this season, where role players do kind of step up without the main guy for a small amount of time. They can do it for a short amount of time. Extended time usually gets kind of ugly, but we'll see. Yeah. Trying to think any other questions I could throw at you before we get out of here.
I'm for it. I will say that that I think the Heat, if you ask me if they could come back into this series, the worst home cover team in the NBA.
Hey, Chris, number 1 team on my do not bet list all season. The spot that I've attacked more than any spot all season is fading the Heat.
The Dallas Mavericks. Oh,
hey.
Sorry.
Don't
Sorry.
get them started.
You know what?
Comments,
No, hold on. I'm going for a callback here. Someone. Wait, no, other way. Someone called me a homer in the live chat, taking the Leafs this morning. I would be like, okay, yeah, I'm taking the Leafs once when pretty sure we had 82 picks of the Dallas Mavericks on the jam session throughout the NBA season. So maybe I can count on two hands the number of times I felt comfortable taking the Leafs this season.
Man. Hey.
And somebody wants to call me out and say that I'm a homer. Okay.
Hey, man. Hey.
We're
not talking
I'm busting
about
chops.
that shall not be named, man. They're not here. We're not talking about them, okay?
But yeah, no, like you said, I'm go ahead. You're the angle that you went against all season.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, I love fading the Heat at home, man. I've done it all season. If only I would have faded the Mavs the same way, I probably would be in like a high rise in Miami or something.
Yep, probably.
But speaking of hockey, I'll talk a little hockey with you right quick since you want to talk about my home in this.
Yeah.
Your Leafs gonna get it done tonight or what?
I said on the morning show, if they don't tonight, that's another team you can stick a fork in. If they were brutal in game one, and you know Mitch is quick to call out the Leafs and the Oilers on the morning show.
I know. I was rolling this morning. He loves getting under
trust me. I anytime I see the Edmonton Oilers on the board, I know I got to get my popcorn ready and just sit back. I get a 5-minute break as him and Rod go at it. But look, the Leafs are a good team, but I'm holding out hope as a fan tonight. But the reality is that they're a team that has always been the bridesmaid, never the bride once it comes to playoff time and getting out of the first round of the playoffs. Your big guns have to step up. It's just like any sport, and you know it's the Leafs. They have to get the job done. So, do I think Tampa Bay is definitely an intimidating team? Absolutely. I do not want to go down 0-2 into Tampa Bay.
Facts.
That being said, when these two teams met in the playoffs last year, it was they traded wins back and forth. So home ice was stolen back and forth, I think, multiple times in that series. So I don't want to overreact after one game. Did game one suck? Absolutely it did. But I still think there's still time for them to come back in this series. And like I said, it's only one game. It's a best of 7. So if we go down 0-2, then I might be sweating a little bit more than normal over the next week or so. But still got some time.
For sure. I had to talk a little.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think y'all win tonight, though. I think y'all do. I think y'all's backs are against the wall at home, kind of like my Stars were yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That game one loss was for my Stars.
Yeah, but, everyone was like, "Oh, they lost. The Leafs lost 7-3. They lost 7-3." It's like when we get our asses handed to us on a game that we bet. Thankfully, it only counts as one game.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get it. These guys are the actual ones playing the game, so they. I'd
rather lose like that than to lose how I lost on Minnesota last night. Oh man, half a point. Ugh. I'd rather lose by 4 goals than to lose. You know. So they should bounce back today. It should be interesting. Let's go Leafs. I'm with you on them today.
Yeah, I'm at peace with the game 1 loss. We moved past it, and now we move on to game 2, so we'll see. We
shall see. Thank you for joining me today. What you got for sale over at Pickdawgz?
Pickdawgz today. Got my $19 NBA slam dunk. So one of the games on the board tonight. Absolutely love. I think we're gonna crush it with that play. And also got it as part of my hoops and hockey 3-packs of 2 NHL plays and one NBA play for $39 at Pickdawgz. Yes, sir.
For me, I got a 3-pack up there as well. It includes 2 NBA, 1 MLB, and I got 2 plays sold separately. I got my $19 NBA Jam Session play, 16, 7, and 1 last 24 for me on that play, including I hit my game of the month yesterday with the Grizzlies. So trying to stay pretty hot on that play. And then MLB play, I got one up there as well. 14 of 19 to begin the season on that MLB play of the day. So trying to keep that rolling, man. So you got to scoop it up however you want to do it over at pickdawgz.com. Chris, man, thank you for joining me. You always one of my favorite guests. You had me rolling the whole show per usual. And, you come out spitting fire as well.
No, I appreciate it. I hadn't been on as much. I was trying to take it easy with the NBA playoffs, but I'll be back and we'll do this again. This is always one of my favorite times to come on and do one of my favorite live shows. So I always love doing the jam session.
For sure, man. Thank you for joining me. Thank everybody in the live chat. 300 people live, man. Let's make some money today on a Thursday. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. We had a pretty nice start to the postseason. Just trying to cook up this NBA. Per usual, man. There you go, man. You got me. You called me before I could say it. Per usual, man. Me and my guy, Chris, we out of here. Thank y'all for joining us today, man. Peace.